Okay, so we're off and running yet another day. So what we're going to be talking about today is going to be pretty good. Most people probably will think I'm batshit crazy. That's okay, because we are getting there, and I'm not normal. And if you think that I was normal to begin with, you are mistaken, boo, because I have seen too many things, heard too many things, and I have analyzed too many things to think like your normal bumblebee that lives here in the States or around the world. So what our agenda is today is we are dealing with the 5G. And we're going to talk about the 5G and figure it out on a whole new level of being, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 5G on a metaphysical sense. Why? Just why did they push it out? Do you realize how much money they put into the system of the 5G? They will not make their money back. That's what's strange. So no company would spend that much money within the marketplace of this day and time with a capitalist market to push forward what we have today. 5G is a different wavelength. It does not do what most other things that we have had in the past. They are a specific wavelength that actually bounces off of things. 5G does not. It actually penetrates through things. So it's a completely different energy, and you have to have double the amount of cell towers to be able to do it, and it costs so much more money. And it's a different energy altogether. So what's funny is I'll tell you a story before we get started about what's the 5G, right? Well, when the COVID first started, I noticed I was feeling really, I don't know if I was really sick, but I had no energy. I was just depleted for weeks, and I'm talking at least 2 weeks. So what's funny, come to find out about a week later after I started feeling better, I spoke with my father, and he has a farm not far away. And so I was speaking with him, and he was talking about, I have been feeling the same way. Not only have I been feeling the same way, but the employees on the farm have actually been called out sick for the last week because they were feeling so sick from they didn't know what. They didn't understand what was going on. So what they did, they just felt like they were sick, and they were in the bed for over a week, just depleted of energy, thinking that they had the flu or something. And that's about how I felt, right? Well, I ended up calling Fluffy, Focused Life Force Energy, and I spoke with the people because they actually look at the accounts and they see if there is any disruption within the accounts, to see if there's something that they need to tweak or fix with flaws within the energy around you or the place that you're at, to see if there was something that they noticed around my house, because I have an account over my house and I have an account over my cell phone. So it's like it should have been, they would be able to look at these fluctuations. So as time went on, I started feeling better, but they were still feeling sick. And as they were explaining to me within the people that I deal with, Fluffy, they said what they had to do is they had to fix the fluctuation, and then they had to recalibrate the energy that was coming into my property or my phone, and then it would be a harmonic space for me. So I started feeling well, but everybody else that was not inside this area that I had was still feeling super sick. Everybody started feeling better later. It was like they were dialing in this energy that nobody even knew of, and still probably most people don't even know it even exists, that this actually happened. This was in rural North Carolina. So I mean, out of nowhere, all these people feeling sick, weeks and weeks and weeks. And come to find out, the 5G tower was implanted just down the street here, not far. So that was the prime reason of why the energy shifted. So what we're going to be doing today, Conspiratorium Wednesday, I guess we'll call it, right? So, so we're going to be talking about 5G. Figure it out. What's the prime reason? Well, what's funny was before, when I was opening up, what I was seeing was this energy actually will be able to change different things within its area. So it resonates on a different level. Now, what we have to understand is when we're changing wavelengths, we are electrical beings. So if they change these wavelengths to like a disharmony, then our body will then relay that disharmony resonance. And then that will create some type of illness, sickness, and all these other things. I'm not saying anything. It is what it is. So what we're going to do is I have a few questions. It won't be a very long podcast today, but I thought that this would be a good one to be able to put out. That what is it? I don't know. Do you know? Well, if you don't know, let's figure it out. Because the thing is the Akashics is a resonance from the very beginning of time. Okay? And when you open up the Akashics, it's within the heart space of the prime candidate, which people would consider like God. But the thing is, there's so many gods. I'm not going to communicate with. Well, let's make it clear. When I'm doing this, I'm talking to prime candidate, the main source of all things. And then there is the underlining gods. And the thing is we can actually communicate to them gods if we wanted to. But normally I try not to. I like to do my own shit. And then I like to grow with my own shit, right? And now the thing is I have nothing against other people that want to do this because their ancestors could be linked to certain people. And with that said, when they're linked to those gods, you can actually, they will allow you their energy or you will not be depleted of their energy. So maybe you should look at your ancestry and think about your ancestry and know your lineage and know where you came from and who you are attached to be able to grow and prosper in life. And that's where we're at today, right? So is the 5G telephone service here today? Is it here to benefit us with the 5G? So they're showing, the thing is there's many molecules within space and time. And when you're dealing with different, it's like, so the molecules are here. And then there's the wavelengths that we would associate with telephone, radio, and stuff like that. Everything radiates at a certain level within this reality. Well, while you're doing that, 5G will be able to manipulate and like shift it to where if you are actually in a good space today, you will be mad as shit tomorrow, and they will be able to elevate and change the aspects of how people are going to feel. And so is that part of what I was feeling the other day within people starting to have more mental, like they feel more mental. And so it was like a whirlwind. So these people are not going to understand the effects around them. So it's going to start creating these tidal pools, right? And these tidal pools will suck them in to become less than what they are because they feel like it's them, but actually it's not them. It is the outside world that's manipulating them to feel a specific way because they don't know how to change it. Now, if you don't have some type of system that you use, what would be the best way to be able to contradict the energy from the 5G network if you feel it? And that would be grounding. So it would be the only thing that can really connect you to not resonate at that level. If you feel the anxiety, or I've felt it before. What's funny is I called a friend one day out of nowhere. It was probably 6 months to a year ago. I told him, I said, I swear to God, I could burn down the world. And I'm serious. That day, I could have burned down the house and everything in it. And I probably wouldn't have mattered. I'm kidding. But that was my energy that day. So I was outside, and I walked outside for at least an hour. And then as time went, I started feeling more at ease. It was like the energy was being released, or I wasn't attracting the energy so much because I was connected, if you get what I mean, barefoot. And they were giggling. They said, no, something must have triggered you. I'm like, no, nothing has been off. Everything's been normal. Everything's been good. And this is where we're going. And the thing is, so what could be the effects of this? And they say that it could be anxiety ridden. It could be anger. And so they're saying that a lot of this is going to be triggered by how they're going to be able to resonate these energies out. So as these energies are protruded out, people are going to feel these things and think that it's part of them, but it's not. And that's a lot of problem with today, because with you not taking the acceptance to yourself, what you're doing is you're over here, is you're looking outside of yourself. And actually this aspect would be a good aspect to be able to say, oh, this is outside of myself, because it is outside of myself, and I need to figure out what the fuck's going on outside of myself to be able to fix what's outside of myself. But a lot of people are going to go to a counselor to get something fixed when they probably are outside of the zone by the time they get over to their doctor. And then they get prescribed something that they probably don't need, because these things are resonating differently, because they're showing these, it's like particles. So the particles that are in the air and space get electrified. And as these things get electrified, it can change it's not even a wavelength anymore. As they electrify it, it's like it's a whole like a whole thing around us that is just pure energy of whatever they want to just implode on the people below. Now, can it work with other things? Like, can it work with other things that the government is working on? So they're saying, okay, so as soon as I saw that, I saw a plane. And I know exactly what the plane was, because the plane is the chemicals that they claim that don't even exist in the air right now. And the thing is, those chemicals are mainly aluminum and other particles that's inside. So when you're elevating these energies and then lowering the other that's from the plane, right? They are over here showing that it like emulsifies and it creates a big boom, and then it can actually shoot out. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to change certain things within society, and they're able to. This is that, and I just heard this has nothing to do with global warming, nothing. It's about like a mind control. This whole aspect has everything to do with holding people at a certain state to keep them at a lull, because they don't need you to grow. So what they're doing right now is really, they already know this cycle that the Homo sapien is moving into, right? The people with the half of the Godhead. So as we move into this space, they're going to keep just like dumping all these chemicals down. And these chemicals are mainly, and what I get is like, I got the skull and crossbones, almost like death. And then they elevate those to be able to really mess with the energy within us, so we feel certain ways. And while we're feeling these ways, there's not much we can do about it, because you can't get out of it. You get what I mean? So if we're at home or walking around the yard and you feel anxious or you feel mad, or if you want to burn down the house like I have had a couple times, and I was fine one minute, the next minute I am burning down the motherfucking house. And I'm being honest. That's what this is. So they're changing the whole persona of how, okay, so these people are now to the point to where they don't believe what we're putting out on television. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our agenda. And our agenda will become this. And so if they don't want to watch television and live in a certain state of mind within the TV, then we will start imploding these certain energies on them at a certain time or a certain place to be able to create our own agenda. Because I see like fear and anger and anxiety. So it's like all these things all boiled into one is running through this electrical source that what they're doing. And it's quite strange, to be honest. I didn't think that, I had a feeling it was. I've never really done it. I just, the thing is, you hear things. I can hear it. That don't mean I believe it. And a lot of times I know that it's out there. I know it's not good for me. And I know that we go, any paleontologist will tell you, we go through cycles every so many years. Go to the Grand Canyon. That is the prime example of the cycles that we're in right now. And we go through hot spells, we go through cold spells, we go through hot spells, we go through cold spells. And that goes back to the Vedic stuff that I was talking earlier. The Vedics have this, I'll try to do it in the screen here. So they have this here, and then it goes out, and then it goes out, and then it goes back out. So it's a cross, but the cross elongates on both sides. Why? Why the cross? Well, the cross is the time difference between each cycle that we will go through. And normally these cycles, I believe, when I talk, it's off the top of my head. So I think it's around 12,500 years, if I'm not mistaken. I could be a little off. I could be, who gives a shit? They're cycles. And these cycles, as we're moving out of this bottom left, moving into this cycle here, so we're moving out of this one into this cycle. Godhead is literally here. So as we enlighten into this cycle, this is where Jesus came, literally. Jesus came here, the supposed Jesus. And then you move out of that to this cycle, to the Aquarian ages here. And then this is another karma, a yuga cycle where we have massive, catastrophes. Each cycle, we're in a cycle. Well, we could have, and I'm not scaring anybody, I'm not trying to scare you, but each cycle, huge ass shit goes down. Look at the Grand Canyon and you can look at the different layers. Those are the layers of these cycles of the Vedic astrology. And that's where the Knights Templar is originated, was from these weird ass crosses, right? So, sorry. With the new wavelength, can that affect the body? Okay, so I saw like an arrow going into the body. So it's not, so this is not bouncing off of us. If they want to, if they're wanting to penetrate this energy directly to a person, I'm seeing, as soon as I said that, in a city. Directly in like a big city. So as soon as I said a city, I saw like sky rises like New York. So they're going to be able to literally penetrate a specific person to do and make them just like shift their minds and make them into a person that they really aren't. And so if you want to, so as they move forward, what they're going to do is they're going to start being able to create these things to where these are going to be automatons almost to do certain things to create the fear among the people, even the people that maybe aren't watching the news, but it will be enough to where it can still cause fear within those people. You get what I mean? So it's like they're trying to do multiple layers because they don't see us. Okay, so we don't live a life like they want us to live anymore, right? So they're trying to shift it to where they can still force us into living the life that they want us to live. So they thought, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to change the shit, and we know how we can do it. What we have to understand, technology today, they've known about this technology. I believe that the old world, like back in the old world, they probably knew this technology. They've had these cataclysms, lost the technology. Families of wealth have held on to this technology. And now they know we're moving into a new age to where they should use the technology again. And it's just quite bizarre how I see certain aspects. So is it going to be like one major city, or is it going to be like all major cities? So the majority of the major cities, they're going to be able to have everything pinpointed to where they can literally manipulate people to a specific spot and do what they want. And these people will almost have like a brain fog to where they don't even assume, or maybe they don't even know that they're there. Or maybe their brain completely blacks out and they do these things. They get arrested and they still don't even know what happened. And that's what they're showing me. It's like there's so many things that they're able to do with how they change and elevate certain atoms within us and around us, that things stop within our body, but we still, like, our heart moves, our lungs move, because I'm seeing like the body movement's still there, right? But I'm not seeing like the mind is frozen. It's like a frozen block of ice. And so it's like they do certain things, and then the mind is frozen. The body still reacts to the energy, and then it shifts them forward to do what they want. Now, what's the reason they're pushing the service of this so rapidly? And they want to make sure that if they... Okay, so as we're moving forward, they know that they have to continue out. And because if it's only in a big city, the big city sees certain ways, right? And then the suburbs see a certain way, and then the rural counties is like, y'all straight up crazy. I used to live in the big city of Miami. Today I live in the suburbs. Not even in the suburbs. I live in rural. I guess this would be rural. I live in the countryside, boo. And I look at you like you crazy, because I see things that I'm like, there are so many things off. I go back to like the big city. I'm like, that they think that they're in a great headspace. They think that they're living like, it's good to exercise, right? It's good to do all these things. But if you do all these things without having the whole synopsis, it's really pointless. Because a lot of people today is living in like a hashtag. And before, I was calling people out with the hashtag because I was like, that's the hive mind. That's the hive mind. Yes, it's the hive mind. Problem is I was being like called into the hive mind to call the hive mind out. That's where we have to understand. Hold on one second. Because the hive mind exists, right? And as we exist, the hive mind is all around us. But the thing is these people that are in it and are living in it, they don't even know that they're part of it. It's like they've already sold parts of themselves off without ever even knowing, and they're living in a certain state of being when they're actually brainwashed and full of bullshit. And that's where most people are in the city life. And I don't say that to be mean. I don't say that to be crude. It is what it is. And then they look at the country bumpkins like, oh, them poor little babies, they're over there with them milk cows. Boo, when the shit hits the fan, if anything ever shit hits the fan, because I have seen some timelines in the future, your bitch ass is going to be trying to come down here. And guess what? Homeboy will send you on your way, hon, because it ain't time and you ain't welcome. Okay? Because you was not in the right frame of mind when this shit was going down. Because you assume that all this shit is good for you. You think the government is here to help you. The government's going to fuck you. They're going to fuck me and they're going to fuck everybody. Hello? Hello? They're all reptilian. I swear they're almost all reptilian. If they're reptilian, what are they? 4D? God damn, people are just like straight up bananas. And then they put these hashtags. Hashtag daddy. I'm a hashtag daddy today. I'm like, you a hashtag daddy? Get you a fucking son and shut the fuck up. Go do the daddy thing. Go do the daddy thing and you will stop doing the hashtag because you fucking busy. There's a difference between hashtag daddy and being a motherfucking daddy. Okay? So until you get your shit together, don't keep doing it. And a lot of people are sitting over here assuming that things are here for our benefit. And I'm not saying 5G can't benefit us in certain ways because it does help with internet. Other than that, what is it? It's nothing but like an automaton for our government services to be able to track, analyze, and change atoms around us to manipulate our mind space. And our mind space is the only thing that matters here. Because if your mind space is out, we have nothing else left, guys. And that's the problem. Our mind space is the only space that matters. And if 5G comes in, and if we don't pay attention to it and truly analyze it for what it is, we're going to be up shit creek without a paddle. And I just a lot of people just live in denial, or they got the damn monkeypox. I haven't watched the news in so long. As I was looking at my feed, I think 2 days ago, and I looked over at my partner and I said, I didn't know the monkeypox still existed. I thought it was already gone by now. And he's like, no, it's like the shit. I bet it is. I bet it is. Okay, next. Oh, me. Where are we going in life? What the hell are we going to do, guys? We got to get it together. I'm telling we got to get it. That's why I'm here. Some of this shit might sound off to people. I don't give a fuck. Some of this stuff might resonate with you. I hope it does. And, you know, we got to think about all these arenas that's around us at this point. Because there are so many things that have been thought about. And I'm talking like probably 100 years ago to be able to manipulate us today. And that's how far back the Sabbateans are. The Franco-Sabbateans. They are on top of it. They understand this agenda. They know this agenda, and they're playing it out. And we got to stand up for us. We got to stand up for the population. You got to do what's right. And I think that's why I'm starting these podcasts, because we're at that point now where what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And if you're trying to fuck the society, you're wrong. If you're fucking the society, you're wrong. Nothing else to say about it. I was going to tell you a few more stories today, but I wanted to make it short. And I'm already almost at 30 minutes. So I'm just going to cut it off here. And I'll start another one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. I know some people will probably bitch and moan and complain. I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. Bye, guys. Have a good day.